Part two. So you already knew instinctively some street theater, some action.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, that was the day I knew I could do things.
Right.
That I could just reach into myself and do something.
Get an idea. And
because, wow, within 10 minutes, there were like 100 kids who had gone into the cafeteria and grabbed cafeteria trays, and they were all scooping the dirt back in.
Wow.
And before a couple hours had passed, that gigantic pile of dirt was now back into the foundational hole. You know, mission accomplished.
But with that, you get the look of a leader, which also carries double-edged sword now. You could be seen as a radical. Your parents probably might have said, what's happening with our child?
I think they would have probably disapproved of me doing that, but I didn't see myself as a leader, but I did see myself as somebody who could contribute.
Right.
I felt at that moment, with all those kids digging, for the first time in my life, I felt like I was part of a community.
That was a benchmark. And stuff.
I just felt like a member in good standing of a community.
Right.
There was the first sense of community I ever had.
And with that feeling, your thoughts about yourself change? Did your actions change?
Sure, yeah. I thought, well, this feels good. And about a month later, girls would like come up to me and say, yeah, hi, I'm such and such. Who are you?
Really?
And I'm Brad. Who are you? And I thought, I can get used to this. And I mean, the kids were friendly, and it just seemed like a natural thing. And by a month later, when the I.D.A. thing happened, I was totally committed to the left.
Now, for those who don't know, I.D.A. that was off Terhune on Thanet Road at the time.
Well, I can't tell you the street address, but it was the Institute for Defense Analysis.
Yeah, and they were translating a lot of signals. Vietnam was still going on. And
right.
What was I.D.A. doing?
Well, for that, you're going to have to watch the film, because I had a red letter day yesterday. Okay. I found out some information that I don't think people know. I interviewed one of the directors for I.D.A., Lee Neuwirth. And,
B.B. Neuwirth's dad?
B.B. Neuwirth's dad, right. Lee Neuwirth. He and his wife, fine people. And I had an epiphany, and I can't really share it right now.
Okay. During that, so I.D.A. is private, but they're in cahoots with the U.S. military. And
so it was said.
Yeah. And,
so it was said.
And during... And the adventures the United States are having internationally, wars, everything else.
Look, I mean, there was a zeitgeist. I mean, there was a cultural, political zeitgeist. And there was so much coming at you all at once. And you had to pick sides, and you had to do it fast. Right. So the facile thing to do is you just stick to the side that you feel that you're identified with. Yes, the war was wrong. The war was absolutely wrong, and nobody disputes that, and nor does Lee Neuwirth dispute that the war was wrong. The problem was in the details. What was I.D.A. really doing? We thought we knew exactly what they were doing, and I now know that some of the protesters really did know exactly what was going on there. But the problem is that it was responded to, it was dealt with in a completely and purely symbolic way, not taking into account the human cost of those actions and those events. And I learned a great deal about what was really happening in I.D.A.
But by human cost, what, the protesters or effectiveness?
Everyone.
What do you think?
I have an FBI record to this day.
Right.
But the Neuwirth family was traumatized, and other families who were connected with I.D.A. were traumatized as well. There were death threats made against